My initial impressions of the Ice Barrel 500. It definitely seems like new ice baths are coming out more and more every single week. And this week I have been seeing this Ice Barrel 500 all over my feed. So this is essentially like the same thing as the original Ice Barrel cold plunges, except instead of having external steps, the steps are actually built in. This thing is actually very similar to the new Morosco Forge that I covered last week, obviously, except it doesn't come with the chiller. It's a similar design, as we can see with this cross section. And I'll tell you what, this actually feels like a missed opportunity from Ice Barrel to put a chiller in the compartment under the steps rather than just have that empty space under there. This does say it's chiller ready, which I believe means it has all the proper holes and fittings to connect the chiller, but I definitely would have loved it if the steps had a compartment to hide the chiller and just get it out of the way for a better form factor. One crazy thing about this unit is that it actually weighs 104 pounds, so very, very heavy, definitely not going to be easy to move. It is absolutely massive, as we can see from these images, so no worries about the bigger guys fitting in there. The price is a whopping $1,500. So for $1,500, this is a pretty expensive piece of recycled plastic. I think the joke with these are that if you want to save some money, you can just basically water seal a black garbage can, add some steps, and you basically get the same effect as something like the Ice Barrel 500. Obviously, I'm kidding, and one of the big advantages to this specific unit is that it's actually going to have really, really good insulation, and obviously it's going to come with the top. So if you have the money, I would say this is definitely a really cool option. One thing I'm not really too keen on with all of Ice Barrel's stuff is the fact that their products are all black. And I definitely think that the black looks really cool, but to me, the black just makes it harder to actually see the water. And I like to see the water just so I know if there's any mold or any murkiness going on inside. I know that with my cold plunges, for example, I definitely always pick the lighter colors so that I can monitor the water to see if it gets murky or there's any mold buildup and I have to do a deep clean on it. Nonetheless, the Ice Barrel is definitely a solid option if you want a nice big ice bath that's just going to look sleek AF. This was a clip from my podcast, the Cold Plunge Podcast. If you want to see more clips like this, be sure to subscribe on all major podcast platforms and check out the links in the description of this video for more.